So I made a pretty major discovery in my opinion on how relics work, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how. No BS, me and my guardian hate BS. So I have a fire build that is increasing my fire attack damage by 5. See, I have fire attack up +2 and then 1 as well as +1 to strength, and then I have another +2. So this is giving me a +5 increase to my fire attack. So when we go to test this and we slap on some fire grease, for example, right, you'll see that my damage when two-handing will be hitting for 151, and on a fully charged is 227. Now if you actually press the start button and you go to your menu, you can see exactly how much fire damage you're adding on, and this goes for just whatever weapon you're using in general. You'll see the damage you're hitting exactly for your weapon, which is actually helpful because if you two-hand your weapon, if you didn't know, it will increase your strength stat by 1.5 times. So you'll see when I one-hand it, my Wilder Greatsword goes from 126 to 122. So you squeeze out a bit more extra damage if you two-hand, generally speaking. Look, I'll show you with another fire grease. So 151 on the two-handed R1, and then 227. Now you would think if I use something like Eruption while my weapon was buffed, it's gonna do pretty decent damage, right? So I hit for 610, which seems pretty good all things considered. But now watch when I use another relic that isn't even increasing my fire damage, but it's doing something else. So for reference on the Wilder, I'm using the Wilder's Chalice. I believe you get this as you're doing his remembrance quest. So yeah, you can see on the Chalice, right? When I have fire attack up +2 and then the 1 and the 2, that's giving me +5. But if I go to something like boosts attack power of added affinity attacks, and I stack that twice with the Knight of the Lord, because that's also giving me the same boost that this one's giving me, watch how much damage I do when I put on the same fire grease that I just had. And this is for if you just want to do like any elemental build whatsoever. So I'm buffing. We're doing 152. This is the same amount of damage that we were hitting the last time with +5 fire damage. And what's even more interesting is if you look at the actual fire buff I'm getting from the weapon, you'll see that I'm hitting +27 fire damage now compared to the +25 I got with +5 increase to my fire attack. It's a little strange because you would think that adding +5 would like actually add 5 to the fire stat. You'll see that when you add a fire grease, or just like any buff in general that has like an element, you'll see that you add a flat 21 extra damage, and that's all like that +21 is purely like that element's damage type. So you'll see when I put on the magic grease, it's also +21. So you would think if you put on +5, it would be 21 +5, so you would do 26. But for some reason that's not true, and that's making me a little bit confused on like the validity of these element damage increases. For reference, I don't have another yellow rune that's increasing my fire attack because this is also giving me strength +1. So it might be modifying the test a little bit, but honestly, adding +1 to a stat is like kind of negligible. When you add the grease, I get +25. Even though I have +5 and I should get +26, it's +25. So the weirder thing about this is if you actually do a damage test with the other build I had on, not only am I doing more damage, this is making me believe that anything with plus fire plus magic is negligible compared to something like increasing attack when you add an affinity. And you can see the number for itself. And what's even worse about this is the Knight of the Lord, it boosts your damage when you switch your weapon. But if you didn't know, when you switch from two-handed to one-handed, you get that same damage boost that you would get if you were to do the actual switch from your first to your second weapon that you had. So say for example, when I switch here, I get the same damage boost, right? And you can see that when you get a grease buff, when you're switching your weapon, you get a +14. So it's it's sort of like halving the damage amp you would get when you put a grease on, because you're doing plus 14 as opposed to plus 21. But you can see that if I put on a grease, then I switch from two-handed to one-handed and go back to two-handed, now I'm hitting for 165. So this is strictly doing more damage compared to if I had a plus 5 fire attack up. And you'll see when I do eruption and I have my sword boosted with fire, now I'm hitting for 647 compared to the 610. So you're actually just doing more damage if you have a boosted attack to added affinities compared to boosting that specific element. And this helps you a lot because say you're fighting the frost dragon, for example, and at the moment you may not have a fire grease or whatever, or like you don't have a flame weapon, you'll still get a boosted like damage to other added affinities. Because say for example, if I use like a magic grease or like a holy grease and I buff this, I get plus 26. The reason why it's not plus 27 is because my first relic is plus 2 fire attack, but you see how that doesn't make sense because I'm getting plus 27 on fire and I'm getting plus 26 on another element. Why is it not plus 28? So like I'm thinking that the damage numbers, and like here with the magic I'm getting plus 25 and not plus 26, like, and then the holy goes back down to plus 25. So I actually, and oh, it just went up for some reason. Oh wait, so this is actually a thing I just noticed. So when you're using Knight of the Lord and you switch from two-handed to one-handed, you get a damage amp, but it'll lower the actual damage you're getting on the element by 1. So that seems pretty negligible in my opinion, because I believe that the damage amp you get from two-handing to one-handing will be more than you getting that plus 1 from the element, because it's boosting like all damage types across the board. So that's including physical as well as the elemental. Plus the final nail in the coffin is when you're using a build like the Night Lord Relic and you switch to receive a buff, you'll only get plus 14 damage when you switch, but because you get an attack amp as well, you'll do the same amount of damage you would do if you used a fire grease. So look, this is me using my full fire build. I hit for 151, fully charged at 227, right? And if we were to use a weapon that has innate fire, because you might think that it would do more damage, we hit for 237, right? And then when we use a grease and do R1, 262 and 404. And then on the Ash of War, 787 damage. We're gonna switch off of this because like the real main build is using the slate whetstone. So right now we currently have no attack amps to our fire damage. So look, you're gonna see, I'll use this to get the buff. I'll switch from one hand to two hand. 267, 419. We did a little bit more on the charge attack. And if we were to use an actual grease just to make the test consistent, you'll see I'm hitting 25 extra and we're hitting for 278. So this is, hold on. So yeah, we're hitting for 804 damage actually when everything connects. So using Knight of the Lord Relic as well as boosted attack power of added affinities is strictly better compared to using fire attack up plus 2, holy attack up plus 3. This is just gonna give you more damage. So the only reason why you shouldn't use the Knight of the Lord Relic is if you don't like switching from two hand to one hand to get your damage amp, or like if you ever have 3 weapons, which you probably should, if you don't like to like use more than one weapon and you just want to stay with that one. Because if you go from two hand to one hand and then just go back to two hand, you'll keep the same attack buff. So if you literally don't like doing that to get free damage, that is the only reason why you wouldn't use something like Knight of the Lord Relic compared to a fire attack up plus 2. So for me, when I use a build, for example, this is my build I use for my Flame Knight on the Wilder. When we go here now, and we boost the damage this way, and then we switch from one-handed to two-handed, I'm hitting for 156. It's a little less than using a flame grease, because if you guys also didn't know, a buff that's applied this way is only giving me plus 15 to my fire damage, as opposed to the grease, which gave me plus 27. So greases do more damage than something that's like an innate buff, like the skill on the Wilder. So when I buff this, we get plus 19, and we're also doing frost damage. But then if we buff it with just regular magic damage, we get plus 25. And if we wait for the attack buff to wear off, it will probably jump up to plus 26, I would imagine. Yeah, so this goes up to plus 26. So if you want raw magic damage, I would still suggest you actually buff this with the innate buff, because this is gonna give your greatsword frost, and proccing frost is just gonna be much better because it lowers the foe's damage negation by 20%. So you'll do more damage in the long run with this being frost compared to getting the the plus 14 extra. So this is also leading me to believe that if you ever seen things like improved colossal weapon attack power, that's going to improve the weapon damage across the board for like any colossal weapon. But because it doesn't have like a plus 1 or 2 next to it, like it's just a flat boost, I'm thinking that these buffs are going to be doing more for you in terms of increasing your attack compared to something like Vigor plus 1. If you use a relic that increases your maximum HP when you're using a plus 3 small shield, like, I haven't tested it yet, but it's seeming like that buff is going to be more substantial than the plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. Because if you haven't watched, there was a really good video that's actually not slop from Zully the Witch. She breaks down like how each stat correlates to the scaling. So for example, if you have a scaling in strength, that'll boost like your strength stat will be at, let's just say 55 if you have like an A scaling. If you have a B scaling, it'll be at like 40 if you're level 15 compared to 55 at level 15 if you have like an A scaling. So I'm thinking that the way that those buffs work is pretty similar to just adding on more stats to that stat. So say for example, if your fire attack is just 0 and you add 5 to that, that's the same concept as like if your health stat was 50, then you add like another 5 to make it 55. Now if this is just like Elden Ring, that would mean that adding 5 to a stat isn't going to be as substantial as you might think. So through this testing, I'm inclined to believe that things that boost the damage type across the board will give you more value than like a Vigor plus 3 or something like that. So to show this build in totality, I've made a fire build that actually shredded like everyone I fought, and it was using relics that wasn't even boosting my fire attack. It was straight up just boosting power of added affinity attacks, which allowed me to use any weapon that I needed to use for the situation. So you'll be seeing some gameplay with this build, and you'll see exactly how added affinity attacks is actually a much stronger build compared to something like adding fire damage as an example. So if you want to see more content like this, please let me know, because I am trying to make the best Nightreign and content across the board. But otherwise, enjoy the run. Don't mind. Where is he at? I'm about to lock him. Oh, I see him.
I don't like you.
Rackle Zackle! He staggered.
I know.
Do it again. Still chilling.
Oh, where you going?
Yeah, where you going? Come
on. Teleport out?
I got something to tell you, bro. Nice.
Damn,
Stop
damn, damn.
Bro, we not done. Yo, in one cycle. Holy chunk. Holy chunk.
Carry a mirror in there. She'd run one cycle. No teleporting.
No teleport. World record. So, well, actually, he's not lucky. I'm about to slide on him again.
You're not low, bro. As soon as I get to you, you want to teleport.
I know. He's being so weird. I know, my lord. Oh yeah, you're done.
Into frost. Yeah.
Yeah, you're done. Oh, all right. I'm getting tickled. I'm getting jumped.
I have blood flame eruption.
Dancer. Oh yeah, sweet. That.
Oh, I avoided death. Weird.
You res them with your grapple?
Yeah, I have two.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh.
Oh. Double dick. Yeah.
His head's in the freaking.
Yeah, look at my son.
2 dosages of blunt trauma.
Better apply that mark again. Let's go with you, fuck nigga. Doesn't blood flaming quick bleed too?
Yep.
Oh.
I'll never die to that move. I played DS3 too much.
Blood flame flashing kind of long.
Yep. Reapply that. Yep.
Frostic for your bumper clad. Frostic for your bumper
He's on attack.
clad. No, but y'all got it, so I wasn't worried.
Give me the cinematic ending. Oh,
I get it.
my exalted flesh.
Oh, it's over.
For us? Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, wait, that actually is so huge. I barely took any damage from that.
Huh?
I barely took any damage from that because of the buff that we got.
Me too, yeah.
Phenomenal work from the Ice Dragon. Thank you.
Stop fucking moving around so much, bro.
I'm using 2 flame great swords, bro.
On your toes, on your toes, on your
Good.
toes. Yeah.
Bravo. Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, I should have gave that to you. That's okay. Yes! Tricks are for kids. Damn, he actually just disappeared. Oh, he's poisoned. Ah, nice. He's doing this one? Oh, hello.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Standing in the open.
Yeah, I'm like, why is he just there? Oh, he didn't get the thing from the
Yeah, 'cause
giant.
he's dumb.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of his problem, chat. I'm not gonna lie. He should have gotten it because that's why we're not taking that much damage.
Yeah, I'm not taking much damage from this ice.
You have to prioritize that if you see this boss on rotation. Why is it that when I'm with you, this guy is barely hard?
I'm barely taking.
I know.
this.
I have to actually check to see if I was taking
I'm
damage.
actually taking that. All right.
All right, yeah, that seems to be doing
Is it over? Oh no.
Caught his ass with that.
Oh yeah, I got it this time.
Take your post. Yeah, I stay jumping on shit though. Where you going? It wasn't done. I have healed
You got
once
another one?
this fight. Who, me?
Stop it!
Oh my gosh. He staggered again. Wait, get it.
Get it. Oh, how did I get it?
Don't question it. Just take it. We are just walling on him, bro. This is crazy.
Go on!
Do it now, Gohan!
Do it for Gohan! Oh, the end of the fucking stage.
Huh?
Oh, I need poison. Yikes.
Yeah, my blade has
Do
poison.
it for Gohan!
I can't even
Oh,
notice
it's
the
over.
frost. Oh, that looked a little noticeable.
My attack goes up when I'm frostbitten. Fuck nigga.
What you thought this was, bro? Oh, sorry, I kind of scuffed you, man.
What's that heavenly light right in front of him?
I think that's heaven. Well, actually, I think it might be hell.
Oh, you're stepping in hot
It's
lava.
over. And you're gonna step on Legos. Womp
Over.
womp. Stays undefeated, bro.
This music is so magical.
I know.